You probably know the feeling when you just wake up and the day is kind of uninspiring. You just don't feel like, you are gonna do something, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And you take a time off, and every day, instead of just being, bare and kind of motivating, kind of, pushing you forward at something, you just feel exactly the same way. Especially after the pandemic, I noticed that, people, including myself, have troubles with motivation, productivity. For example, it's easy to distract me, to lose motivation if something like that even exists. We are gonna talk about that too. And overall, you should be productive, you should be going for something. You see people on Instagram doing great things, and you meanwhile are not motivated, you don't wanna do this, and that includes myself. And I actually found out two ways in which I can literally destroy this state of, idleness and boredom immediately and switch into action and productivity mode. And well, how I do this? Let's explain. And well, as you may know or not know, I study psychology. I also try to, test things on myself, see how things are going. And most of the things are really simple, and that's what I want to show you in this video, how it works for me to, easily get into action, like get the motivation I need and actually start doing things. Because I often easily after the pandemic feel lazy, unmotivated, I don't want to do things. So what I do is that I just read my goals. Like, I believe everybody should have goals, because like everything in this world has a purpose, laws of physics, everything around you, everything has a purpose. And once you do have a purpose, you have the vision, you have the motivation to go through something. Like having a purpose, like this is like a magical trick that allows you literally to just move forward, to have the vision of something that you want, or actually maybe wanna avoid. Like there are two kinds of purposes, right? One you wanna avoid and one you wanna go after. So for example, you wanna you wanna be rich, and you also don't wanna be poor. So like that's your motivating factor in that way, from both ways. And by having that purpose, I already know what I have to do. And when I know what I have to do, I just make a list of tasks. And these tasks, I made them look pretty good in my notes, add emojis and whatnot. But what's more important, I set a goal for a day to actually stick to the task, like gain the momentum. If you've seen my previous video about breakup, I talked about taking action and taking initiative. Like it's the same here. The most important thing for me is to actually start doing tasks, because I have them. Like for example, today I wanna record this video. I had to previously prepare the script. I also wanna think about the thumbnails and how I wanna develop this channel. I gotta go to the gym, meet with my friend, learn German, and on and on and on. So by having these tasks, I already know what I have to do. And now the easiest thing for me is to realize the importance of my purpose versus not doing. Because if I don't do this, I'll just stick with this boredom, in this confinement of, again, boredom and lack of motivation, and it's just not gonna help. I know it because I tested on myself. So with that knowledge, I just do everything to gain the momentum. And how do I do this? Well, I actually just stick with the task. I know it's bad, I know it's painful, but if you actually notice, once you start doing something, you just overcome the first minute, 2 or 3, and then you just keep doing the task, it gets easy, like it gets inspiring. And on top of that, once you accomplish that, you get that spike of dopamine, which makes you want to go for more. Thus it makes you productive and it keeps you motivated. It's just kind of like the metaphor with the train. It's very hard to move that thing, but once it moves, it's actually like going on its own, and it's very hard to stop. And it's pretty much the same way we are functioning. Once we are gaining the momentum, once we get that dopamine spike, we will more and more and more. And in that way, we are using that our psychology to stay motivated and inspired to do things. And guess what? Once you accomplish and do things, like your feeling of control switches from external to internal. And when you have the internal, feeling of control, the fact that you are controlling things, like that widens your perspective, that opens you up for new possibilities, and makes you feel that I'm in control. So if I do something, I can change my life. And you know, in that way, this good vicious cycle continues, you know, because you want to keep accomplishing more tasks. Thus, it gives you more control. Thus, you keep accomplishing more. And you know, the spiral just goes on and on and on, making you feel better, you know, more motivated, more productive, and more satisfied. And you know, I'm nobody, you know, to give you these tips, but I actually found out it works. It has the theoretical basis in psychology, and every time I do that, sometimes I don't. You know, I don't want to be a hypocrite in telling you that, oh, I just always is fantastic and stuff like that. No, but once I do that, and you know, I know this approach works, and every time I force myself to do certain things, like I told you in this video, like it actually starts working, and the results are tremendous. Like I see the difference, you know, between yesterday part of the, you know, day, the first part of the day when I wasn't really doing much, and then when I switched that approach I'm sharing with you today, like it works every time, and it's just a fantastic way to, you know, get yourself motivated, get yourself going. And once you actually, you know, are in this momentum, like you're pretty much unstoppable. And you don't need motivation, you don't need, you know, productivity tips, because you know what you have to do. You have the list, and you have the goals which you want to accomplish, whether these are long-term goals or short-term goals. Like they themselves motivate you, and once you start accomplishing tasks that are combined with these goals, like the results are tremendous. Because as I said, the dopamine spike, plus on top of that the feeling of control, it switches to you. You regain your control, your initiative in action, and it makes you feel better, more productive, and it actually works. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy this video. I really hope it was helpful. If it was, I would really appreciate if you smash the like button. Comment it if you have any question or suggestion. If you like the content, if you want to see how it's going, hopefully you will subscribe. Hope you have a great day. Until next time.